crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Welcome in to Discover Crypto. It is a wild day on the markets. The green lights worked, and we are back. Over $90,000 for Bitcoin. Ethereum has reclaimed $3,000. Chainlink is almost more expensive than Avalanche, and people are losing their minds. But as today's going down, Trump is he's speaking live right now about a lot of war-related issues. We're going to be tuning in to Trump at his roundtable right now. We're going to have the charts up. But first, I got to introduce our wonderful guests, my homies, Maddie B and Kelly Kellum. Kelly, glad to have you back on the show. Missed you yesterday. How are you feeling, good?
You know, I'm feeling great. The Sunday video we put out, any of you that didn't watch it, I mean, still it is worth a watch. It's not past due because you missed all the data in there talking about going into Christmas, going into Q1 of 2026, what I think is going to be happening with price action and the near-term targets. I talked about the little pullback, setting a higher low. It's exactly what's happening right now. And it's nice to see, you know, you and I got in the Discord this morning. I made about $1,000 in about 7 trades, just chilling with the members there in the Discord. Just you're not trading big money either, trading $1,000 and just taking little 10%, 15% profits, just in and out. But I'm feeling good today. Yesterday is supposed to be the day that QE was supposed to end, but we're going to have to see what goes on. I know Trump's speaking here. I know he's been in a round table right now, but he's going to the Oval Office as well, and he's going to make an announcement, I think, having to do with investing. So that should be exciting.
Absolutely. And I think the investing portion of the conversation is going to affect markets a little bit more. We're kind of holding off until he gets to that point. Maddie B, joining us from the notable location of Kanadistan up there in the frozen tundra. Maddie B, how are you holding up seeing these markets in their whipsaw action, brother?
Well, she's getting cold up here in Kanadistan. I got my winter tires on for, if you don't know, we have to change into winter tires for grip on the road. However, the markets are heating up, and I'm hoping to see some confluential upside in the next day to, weekends, hopefully.
Piano Maddie B, what kind of tread are you using to get traction driving through syrup?
Well, it gets dicey once the trees start secreting their annual syrup secretions. It gets hard.
My Lord.
I actually don't have syrup tires. That's the special season.
Yeah. And now, Maddie, you've been pretty accurately concerned leading up to this last washout on Bitcoin. Now you just mentioned, dare I say, you're looking for some upside action here. Can we kind of dive into this a little bit before we punch over?
Yeah, well, you can see here over on the old 4-hour chart, our goals were 89.2 because of the confluential 20 moving average and 50 moving average. We broke that today. So next, you can see this consolidation right here, this ranging. Really, we want to get back into this channel of ascension, which is at around 93.4. And that's an important metric because 93.4 over on the yearly chart is where this 12-month candle turns green. And if she doesn't turn green, well, we're going to experience what's called the Bitcoin shocker, which is 2 in the green, 1 in the red, right? And that's never happened before. So it's going to be another indicator that maybe the cycle's dead if we see the Bitcoin shocker. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
I was going to measure it.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we cleared that up. That's fun though, that you're looking for upside out. We woke up to our Discord as well this morning. The trading quant that's been really helping me and Kelly and the trading group make Tether on the way down. It's been aggravating, I will say that, to having to short markets of things that I believe in. But the quant came out with actually some pretty bullish trades this morning, and all of these, every single one of them has been hitting their take profits. Wait a minute, we just had a new one at 201 Kelly, we might have to hop in on that as well. But yes, the trading quant's been saying up for a couple days, which has felt good. And actually, I mean, he's feeling uppity about something else too. I think we need to check out. Are you checking out Litecoin right now, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what
Okay,
he's
okay.
there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a wild time, and you know what? It's been nice to just close my eyes, follow the trade signal, and it's been really well. Yeah, close your eyes. Now, I want to check out and make sure Trump's not talking about anything economic real quick. Let's bring him up right fast.
These aren't people that work. These aren't
Bam.
people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise.
Right, here we go.
And they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Makes sense, right?
So he's probably going to be resetting now before they go to the Oval Office and make the actual other schedule.
Dude, I don't have my finger on the censor button enough for this Trump administration. Like literally, he was up there cursing quite a bit today. You know, and I did see someone in the chat was like, what are the markets going to look like in the terms of a Venezuela invasion? We're not going to invade Venezuela. Venezuela does not want this smoke on their own. They would need Russia to join in. And Russia also does not want this smoke even together. So let's just put those things to rest. I know there's been a lot of fear. A lot of those crazy headlines have been coming out, but I really, really doubt it, you guys, that there's going to be an invasion of Venezuela. And really, you know, for the time being, I'm excited about the markets at large. Kelly, you highlighted some really, really good TA this Sunday that's played out very particularly. If you kind of want to give me your viewpoint, Kelly, because I know you weren't on the show yesterday. We're riding back above 90K. Things feel great. What are you seeing on the general charts here, bro?
Well, let's get into why is my thing so pinched?
Oh, let's do that.
Oh, it's
Widen it up
weird.
a little bit.
I did this when I was on the David Gokhshtein show earlier today as well. I talked about the rejection at this level, which is a descending level of support, now basically potential resistance. And the reason why it's important is because we have all of this chop that's right over here. And we got something very bullish. We got the rejection. Kelly, how is that bullish? A rejection with now forming a higher low in the face of so much FUD that's in the market right now. And then, you know, essentially, if we can retackle this $92,000, $93,000 level, coming back into this is basically the same level Piano Matty B was highlighting. This is going to be an interesting territory if we just get a moon rocket boom, you know, basically bump and run up out of here, or chop a little bit. We'll have to see. But as it stands right now, it's starting to feel like there's some bullish rockets lighting under the fire of bulls because of this telegraphed end of quantitative tightening, plus stories like this where you got Vanguard ETFs going live, and in the first 30 minutes they did $1 billion in transactions in the first 30 minutes. So when we're looking at the price action, and I did a post about this earlier, yes, there is a lot of technicals that call for lower. There's technicals that say that the 4-year market cycle is in. And unfortunately, that's confirming it for many people. But going back to Vanguard, the fundamental case for Bitcoin has only gone exponential with issues with gold, with issues with not even issues, the parabolic nature of gold. Silver. Do they even have the silver? Is that reason why the silver market closed down on Friday? Is that because, you know, or what was it, Friday or Saturday? Because they don't actually have all the silver they need to cover those trades. What's going on with the Japanese bond market? And then we see everything going on with legislation, stablecoins, smart contracts, tokenization, and QE starting. This is what the bears are looking like. This is what's about to happen from the bulls for those people that are paying attention.
I enjoyed this bull post last night. And yeah, the charts are looking quite delicious. Now, on that chart you shared of Bitcoin, first and foremost, looks like there's a green dot printed. It looks like that VWAP clipped back on up, aggressive enough on the.
Yeah, we've got the green dot on the daily as well. VWAP,
Mhm.
boom, coming back up. Green dot on the daily. We still have negative money flow here on the daily, but if you come down into the 4 hour, you're getting a steady rise in money flow here. VWAP angle to the upside. We had the green dot, some time ago, coming up very sharply. RSI is angled up. It's looking very good in terms of structure. Then you look at the DBSI, which is the dual band strength indicator. This basically tells you, it looks at a lot of data, so you don't have to look at it all. It tells you how much buying pressure or selling pressure there is. And this is telling you 20 versus -5, huge amount more buying pressure on the 4 hour than on the selling pressure. So I think we're at this critical juncture. It's going to be interesting here if we can get over this in the next 24 hours. But isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting, guys, how only 2 days ago we had this massive washout in the markets, massive washout downside. It's over. Yes, it actually is over. And then you get people capitulating, people losing they're so sad. What happened to the holiday pump?
Right.
And then within 24 hours of that dump, then you get, hey, Vanguard, who's never going to add Bitcoin options, basically the access for the ETFs for Bitcoin to Vanguard, one of the largest financial institutions in the history of the world, almost.
And Chainlink today too, right?
But my point is the big washout right as QE is starting, and you get this massive news with another $10 trillion access point to Bitcoin. And I said that Sunday night. I said it's Sunday or Monday. It's interesting how we're getting this washout. It's looking like, it's going to be down early week, and we're likely going to be going up middle into late week, and is exactly what we're starting to see.
Maddie, I have been very, very built around the 4-year cycle in my tenure of crypto so far. I've actually dissented from that. I think 2026 is actually looking pretty good. I'm even betting with some of the biggest screechers in the crowd out there that we're going to be seeing new all-time highs in 2026. My butt's exposed. Okay. I'm taking an alternative viewpoint to the rest of the market. Kelly has shown some great information about the ISM data. There's this constant conversation about 4-year cycle. Just give it to me straight. Where do you think the 4-year cycle is broken? Or do you think that 2026 is going to be that down year that everybody is expecting? What do you think about that?
Well, that's why it's an easy solution, because there's just one little box to check. If we see an all-time high in 2026, well, the cycle's broken. And an interesting way to think about this is that we're playing by our rules. The 4-year cycle is our rules. We kind of invented this retail, whales dumping on retail, resetting the market. It's basically our rules. But now we have some massive players coming in, some deep pros that are like, I don't give a F about your rules. It took us a while. Let's say Vanguard, for instance, took us a while, but we're here and we're going to start buying. I don't care what time of the cycle you retail traders think it's in. We're here now, and we're going to give exposure to 10 trillion, potential clients. And that's what we're up against. So that's the only reason I think that the cycle would change, is that the money's different.
Yeah, money's different. And then also here's the caveat. Whether or not we're going to hit new all-time highs, when we're looking at price action now where people are scared, I'll say it again, and this is not financial advice, but it is overwhelming strategy advice. I never sell when it's peak fear, because that's the scenario in which they're trying to get you to, in which you then see stuff like this, where you see data, stablecoin, Bitcoin to stablecoin reserves. When you're seeing this drop like this, marks areas where you get bounces. In this case, you have the full bear market bottom that then shot up out of it. The sell-off here, this green bar, boom, shot up out of it. Again, from 109 to 74, shot up out of it. Again, look at this ratio. Then you see signs like this, where you see massive, basically people selling at a loss. These are the dum-dums selling because of the fear. Then you see right here, you see the velocity RSI, 3-day chart has just hit the lowest reading since the bottoms of the last 3 bear markets.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me, and bottoms, meaning it went up afterwards. This is telling us we're setting up at least for a substantial bounce. And then if you're wondering, how low can we go, even if we do pull a little bit lower? We have never gone below the electrical cost to mine Bitcoin, which is $71,000 right now. So that would kind of be in that area that I also outlined. I did not see this first, but I outlined this on Sunday, that $70,000 to $74,000 region, if we have another swing to the downside to freak everybody out and make them think the 4-year cycle's real, that I think that's the level we're going to be watching. But we're seeing also a bull market during QT, and this is ending. This is what happened the last time we saw QE. So you tell me, do we sell in peak fear, or do we ride the dragon a little longer?
Yeah.
We also have to talk about like the theory of the halving, right? This had an impact on price action when it was retail. And so now that the big dogs have come in and basically bought up a year or two of the supply, regardless of the halving, I mean, when we enter that into the calculus, I'm not sure what the answer is, but it's different than it has been.
I'm keeping an eye on Trump in the background to see what the announcement for 2 p.m. is. Autism Capital has an interesting theory. He's launching another NFT. Chat, what is Trump going to announce today? I know, Kelly, you were looking into some potential investment outlook for the youth of America. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I just asked Grok, what's Trump most likely to talk about today during his announcement? And it would be in line with the big news story from Michael Dell with their contribution of $6.25 billion towards 25 million kids in America for their investment accounts. But the U.S. itself is also going to be launching, it's supposed to be $1,000 for every kid that's born between 2025 and 2020, what, 9 or something? Like
I think it's for like the next 3 or 4 years. I mean,
yeah,
but
during his presidency.
Something that could really affect the market is if Trump dives into who's going to be the next Federal Reserve chair, right? And he did mention earlier this morning, Fed Jerome Powell is incompetent and a real dope. And now we have the odds of a White House economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, being the next Fed chairman. They're surging to a record high 81% on Polymarket. Trump said he has picked the next Fed chair and will announce it soon. And this is coming out right before he comes up with this impromptu 2 p.m. meeting. Now, Kevin Hassett is a previous advisor for Coinbase. Kevin Hassett is a very, very bullish for crypto Federal Reserve chair. Now, on yesterday's video, I was able to kind of crash out about why the world needs and is reliant on fake liquidity to keep itself bolstered up. Matty B, we've seen Jerome Powell drug through the mud for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's hard for me to blame Jerome Powell for a system that's intrinsically designed on debt. It's like he's got do you have hard feelings against Jerome Powell, Piano Matty B, from having to stay hawkish on interest rates? And, you know, some people say they affect our bags. I just have a hard time. What do you make of Jerome Powell's situation?
Well, I think he's a victim of the Keynesian walled garden, right? So he is a big fan of the money printer, and so is all his friends. And so he's just regurgitating what he was taught how to do. He's not taught how to look forward. He deals with lagging indicators, and then they all get together and they come up with this, 50-50 as to what they're going to do with the economy. And it's like Trump says, it's the easiest job in the world, especially when there's no consequences, right? So if he's wrong about something, nothing happens to him. The world falls apart if he's wrong, but he'll be okay because they're all close to the money printer. So what do they care anyway?
That's what it feels like sometimes. The need for liquidity injection isn't just here in the U.S. We had China's manufacturing PMI hit 49.2 points in November. This marks its 8th consecutive monthly contraction. 8 months of contraction in the Chinese production market, the longest on record, came below expectations. At the same time, non-manufacturing PMI, the measure of activity in construction and services, also fell to 49.5. This is the first monthly contraction since December 22, and the reading also missed expectations of 50 points. Weakness was primarily driven by ongoing stress in real estate and residential service sectors. These service sectors of residential and commercial real estate are also causing a lot of the main pain points for the U.S. markets. This is what happens when you have a system of finance and future outlook completely built upon debt-creating systems. So all of these countries need liquidity injections. Then we see this overnight. The Fed injected $13.5 billion into the market as an overnight repo, another form of liquidity injection into the system that's needing it. One of the biggest liquidity injections since COVID, exceeding any single overnight repo seen since the dot-com era. There are
Well-
massive things happening.
Well, on that note, that's this chart, you may not have caught that, isn't just QT and QE. You can actually see that. This is that metric right here. This is the setup. Even though we had the washout when COVID shut the world down, this was a setup before this. And we're starting to get basically that early sort of signal. And it's not just, what's been said on crypto Twitter. We're seeing it in the world financial data coming out that there's not only the US, but there's massive stimulus going on right now because things are so bad they can't do anything but print more.
Yeah, and it's the group. Oh, go ahead, Matty B.
I have a
I'll move on to the
question,
next section.
Back to what Kelly was talking about the investments that they were doing for. I think you were talking about Trump might do it, but I saw like Michael Dell was also going to do an investment. I know you got the best meme game as far as live goes. If you can pull up a picture of Michael Dell and his wife, can we talk about the economic consequences of having his wife by his side there with those beautiful eyes?
Are you indicating that she might be a meme?
Well, she's something. I'm not sure if she's like a mean human or a nice demon, but there's
Oh
something,
my God.
there's something going on with those eyes. They just don't shut. They're just,
What?
there's something.
I was
Can't put my
not
finger
ready
on
for
it.
this.
I mean, look. Well, I caught it 2 seconds into the video because I was like, look at those eyes.
Oh my God. Here, hold on. What you got?
There it
Oh.
is. Yeah.
No.
Whoa! Whoa! Shut those eyes.
Wow.
What are the economic consequences of living with that?
Oh my God.
No
he
money
probably
printer
lives
can
in
fix
fear.
that.
He probably lives in fear. I mean,
For sure.
Probably lives in a little bit of fear. But let's keep covering our macroeconomic data while we can here, while we're waiting for Trump. I am watching the White House Twitter account to go live once again from the Oval Office for that 2 p.m. announcement as well. But this is also going on. So we have home prices increasing. Everyone's talking about wind collapse, right? They're poking the real estate industry. When are you going to collapse down to my affordability level? Housing industry. Median home sale price has risen by 2.4% year over year in 4 weeks, ended in November 9th to 393,000, the highest since August. This marks the biggest increase in 6 months, according to Redfin. And over the last 3 years, home prices have surged by $18,700 in aggregate, or 5%. So the elevated prices, higher mortgage costs, and economic uncertainty are causing homes that do sell to take longer to find the actual buyer for them because these interest rates are uninteresting to people that would be rather in the market. Let's see here. The meme constable is a super chat. Slapped a 149x casual long on Solana at around midnight on the inverse head and shoulders. I'm cooking, mega bullish. Let's go, brothers. Also, those eyes are me looking at the charts right now, locked in. Shout out to you. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. So we see houses not getting cheaper. Even though there's not a lot of retail buyers, even though all these, and this is where some of the reason where it's like, okay, they're running out of buyers, they're going to lower prices, right? No, they're just going to inject a bunch of liquidity and allow Blackstone, Prentier Partners to buy up all the properties. Kelly, you mentioned something very, very interesting at lunch to me today. Where Kelly was talking about the new reporting requirements for these corporations that are hammering into the single family sector. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Because I think that matters quite a bit in what's going on.
Yes, I think it's already signed, I believe, or at least it's on the docket to be signed. But Trump is they're trying to take aim at, we see hedge funds buying, we see LLCs buying, we also see people buying cash. And it's I think it's very, I don't want to say falsely because it's real money, but it's falsely skewed the demand for housing for actual, demand from families versus LLCs. In addition, and you've covered this before, to many, many, many different pieces of real estate that are bought and owned by, for instance, like the Chinese Communist Party
Yeah.
right next to nuclear facilities all over the U.S. It's a military bases. It blows my mind that that's even possible. And so Trump, is or already has, I can't remember, signing into law new FinCEN requirements if you're buying cash or buying a house in cash, or if you're doing it via LLC, where all the reporting has to be very clear who owns it and why it's being bought and all that kind of stuff. So they're trying to, help put a little damper on all that nonsense buying. Houses should be for people. I think any hedge fund, I don't, it's not that BlackRock shouldn't be allowed to own houses, but it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be priced out of a neighborhood because every time a house goes on the market, a hedge fund goes in there and buys it 10% above asking price because they can do it without any issue. And then you wonder why housing prices are ridiculous. It's stupid. I think a housing crisis in terms of market value of houses going down would hurt some people, but I think it would absolutely be a good thing in the long run because, I mean, it is ridiculous the disparity of how much housing has risen in the last 20 years versus the average family income.
Absolutely. I was moving to Georgia for this job and I had to put a cash offer, I think 20 or 30% over asking price because BlackRock is out there with cash offers outpacing every single family unit that's actually trying to move. They have a reasonable reason. I got a new job, needed to buy a house. I didn't even need to go look at the house. I just needed to buy one. And it was an absolute struggle snuggle. So we're going to watch and we're keeping an eye on the Twitter account for the White House right now. Let's give it a quick refresh and see when Trump's going to come back. Incredible amount of trolling going on from the White House lately as well. So that is worth noting. Now, this is something to watch out for. According to Scott Turner, the Trump administration has started to begin a sweeping effort to purge undocumented immigrants from all public housing and HUD assistant programs. So there is kind of a 20-headed hydra of economic cleansing, so to speak, right now, understanding what's on the books. And it is a very emotional situation, which is causing a lot of the, I'd say, political unrest here in the United States. But I've said this for a long time. If you don't understand how many people are in your country that are going to require social services, you just are blindly handing it out on top of this idiotic economic system that we've built over the last 100 years. It's doomed to fail, right? It's doomed to fail. And every dollar that we pay in taxes, 24 cents of that is used just to pay off our debt, right? So it's starting to catch up with us, and the government's ability to pay that debt back is dwindling ever so slightly, but every single year, surely. So it is a thing that needs to be dealt with. I know it's emotional and people will get all upset with me, but it is what it is. Now, this is also notable on BlackRock's Bitcoin movements. The ETF volume passed $1.8 billion in the first couple trading hours today. So we're seeing a lot of institutional rehammering back in to the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. Hey, what's that? I'm beyond smart. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. I am also a hillbilly, and yes, I am packing. I saw that question in the chat as well. You cannot responsibly.
The housing issue is even worse here in Canada, and so same with the immigrant issue. It's all the same, and it's part and parcel, right? So you have immigrants coming here and almost getting $100K in free money, instantly getting approved for what would be a starter home, right? And then they're just buying them up off the market, changing neighborhoods completely into, unrecognizable culture, right? And that's going to happen. And unfortunately, we don't have, when I look at the States, I almost look at it like dad came home and mom left the house amok. Mom let all of the kids, boyfriends and girlfriends sleep over, and it's just, there's kids everywhere, and dad's coming. I was like, hey, get the F out of my house. What the hell's going on here? And then everyone will have to get out. We don't have that in Canada. In fact, we did the opposite. We're planning on joining like an EU. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I live in Canada. That's it. Right. Yeah, the government in Canada.
How are you streaming out of Canada too with their
the
media?
Days are numbered. The days are numbered because there's a Bill C-6 is coming out, and anything that's hate speech, which is really just against the government. And I spend most of my live streams talking about how much I hate all governments, not just the Canadian government.
Dude, did you guys see a guy, there's a police officer. This is why it's so important to get active and voting for your local constituency, not just the presidency, but also your mayor, your city council. There is a police officer in Australia that is getting sentenced to jail, because get this, a kid stole a bunch of stuff and was running from the police on his dirt bike and ran into this police that was sitting in a parked car.
What is this in America?
This is in Australia.
Australia.
But in the UK, there's a guy that basically is forced, getting sentenced because he posted images of him with a gun. Well, the photo of him with a gun was him at a shooting range in Florida. It wasn't even in the UK. It's like it's very important. Everybody needs to really, especially coming up to the midterms. And I'm not telling you what side to vote. You got to make your decision, and don't do it based on news headlines. Go and say, what is this person about? Because it's going to be very important coming up here in about a year, a little under a year, 8 months.
Yeah, the midterms. And that the midterms are a big driving factor for another additional reason why liquidity's got to be injected, right? Keeping an eye on this White House announcement. We're going to do a quick refresh. Make sure they haven't gone live. What's that?
I'm tracking it.
You're tracking it. Okay, cool. These are the other things that we need to cover. So BlackRock, massive increase in ETF buying activity this morning. Very, very strong, maybe the best. But also, Larry Fink said something that I think is actually really underestimated. It's that the tokenization of assets and so when you have an asset and you have no ability to fractionally sell it, the liquidity is locked up. And when you go to sell a large tangible good or asset, it takes a while to make that sale happen and to open up that liquidity to get it into whatever venture you want to go after. And I'm thinking, and I'm speaking in terms of major investors. Larry Fink is talking about the tokenization of these assets today is roughly where the internet was in 1996, right? We think back to 1996, there's a lot of people that were calling the internet a fad. Where do you think communication, commerce, all of these things that are part of our life in a daily fashion have moved to? But with this front running of technology, this moment that we're in right now, there is volatility. In the chat, what would you do if Bitcoin crashed down to $3? Would you buy that Bitcoin for $3? I want to know, honestly, would you buy Bitcoin if it fell down to $3? I honestly know, easy. What I would be, I don't even know. I'd be taking the neighbor's cat, hitting up eBay. I'd be all over the place to get more. I want to know from the chat. I see say, hell yeah, back the truck up, F yes, get out, touch grass, eat some, I can't say the next part, shout out to your crank, buy as much as I could, DCA and cry. That's a reasonable take, DCA and cry. Bye. Someone would buy Link. Yeah, there you go. And this is an interesting take. I honestly believe the internet ruined the world. Let's talk about that, because we're talking about the tokenization and the ability to move money and assets that are represented on chain over the next 10 years happening. Larry Fink just told you it's coming. So with that, this is an expansion of the infrastructure of the internet. What the internet did is increase the velocity of communication and information, and soon it will increase the velocity of money. That's what Larry Fink is talking about. Maddie, you have the internet and you still show up every single day at a Canada stand speaking your message. Thousands of people are able to hear you. Is the internet bad for Piano Maddie B, who's locked behind enemy lines right now?
It's not bad for me, but I do feel it plays a part with the depopulation of humanity, if we want to go there for 1 second, in the sense that it evens out playing fields with men and women. So, for instance, back in my day, if I wanted to go and get lucky with a girl, I had to go out. There was a lot of work involved. I had to go out, buy drinks, be out socially, and then maybe meet a girl. And then down the road, procreate. Now that doesn't happen anymore. So all these like weird dudes can just stay at home, not have to get into that game and show the work and effort to have babies, and they don't even want to anymore. I know a lot of my friends' kids who are in their 20s who are able-bodied, making money, but they're so hooked on gaming that they don't even care. They get the dopamine that we would get from, going out and providing value in whatever way it was. That's what we did when we were in our 20s, right? We wanted to provide value to society. That's what gave us the dopamine. Now they get dopamine from video games, and they just spend their 20s not even going out. And so if you don't do something valuable, have babies, right? Which is basically the arc for most men. If I do this,
Or
maybe
at least
women will
practice.
like me. Right. If we don't have that, there's no reason for anyone to be incentivized to do anything. So you might as well stay home and play video
You're bringing
games.
up some stuff that really hits home with me, Maddie. It's like, because I was actually driving to the store, and me and my wife just somehow ended up talking about, we're doing our part, but we're only making up for one couple that decided not to have kids. We have 4 kids. We're only making up for, one couple that decides not to have kids. Then you add on to that the robots, the women robot things that are coming out, and all these weird things the Japanese are doing and the Chinese with their robots. This really, really makes it, maybe we need to make clubbing a thing again, right? Maybe the system just a little bit more lubricated, did a little bit better. Maybe clubbing, people have been not going to church, they're not meeting gals at church. So we got to keep going with the economic information. I am keeping an eye on. You have the White House up as well, Kelly?
Yeah.
Just in case it pops up.
I'm refreshing regularly.
All right, perfect. Well, let's keep rolling through all the crypto news because I got something exciting to talk about, and it is Chainlink. Okay. Chainlink ETF went live. The volume, almost $6 million in just 1 hour since market open. And generally speaking, I'm actually feeling pretty darn good about Chainlink. Let's head on over to the charts. And here's Bitcoin still holding out, hanging out at $92,176. Feels
I got
quite
a question
good.
for you.
What's that?
Drew?
Yeah.
What has to happen? Where's the Goldilocks zone where Chainlink hits its stride and gets recognized for its utility? What has to happen outside of it?
I think that is going to be done regardless of our speculation. Like, I don't think that there's any magic number where retail is going to be like, wow, this is, like $100 maybe would capture their attention. Right now, Chainlink is, I think it's number 15 in terms of size of market cap. But it's already got the deal it needs to have to really be part of the new way finance moves. And it's also got things like this going on in the background. The Oracle patent for Chainlink landed, and it's not just another price feed tweak. A huge shout out to Arca, one of the best in the link bull posting community. This is a full off-chain consensus engine. Pacemaker PBFT. Astatation, staggered transmissions, basically built a parallel layer 1 dedicated to Oracle truth. This is, you ask yourself, is Chainlink valuable? Is data valuable? It's as simple as that.
Dude,
they're building data infrastructure.
Did you see, I can't find it right now. I don't have it up, so you don't need to go to my screen, but I did see I think it's Ohio, they're actually talking about taxing data.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
In Ohio?
Yeah.
Ohio means crazy to my children.
I don't know. They're like, it's a huge area that we could generate a lot of money from tax the bits. It's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. So this is something we need to really think about. It's like, it's building a structure, and Arca writes it up really nicely, for the entire system in 4 modules that run nonstop. It's not API piping. Chainlink is running a distributed system beside your chain. So they're playing chess while the crypto sphere is playing checkers. And yeah, the hyper speculation on it and the fees, hardcore fees for CCIP, we haven't seen them fully integrated yet because Swift, though it switched to ISO 20022 messaging standards, didn't activate CCIP on their transactions yet, right? And Link is useless unless it migrates to proof of work. Dude, you gotta stop smoking that Caspa stuff. I mean, I understand Caspa has its moments, but let's just take a big step back. I love you, though. What we're talking about is the infrastructure of the internet changing. Finding things that are systemically plugged into what the internet is now that can bridge that move are important to me. So that is why Chainlink is an easier pick for me. That is why Chainlink is a longer term outlook, is because it's already got that conversation, not just a conversation, but a partnership going on with the actual money transmitter across the world. And you know what? A lot of these crypto projects out there, they're essentially vaporware, and they will die if the market rolls over. And even if the market doesn't roll over in 2026, we have a run up. A lot of those projects will die anyways. So we have this also going on with Ethereum. Is that a dog? Is there a dog right there? Is that the pooch? Hold on, I need to get a close up. Look at that. Yeah, she's got her sweater on, doesn't she? Oh my God.
Come here.
That's cute. That is cute. She's got the sweatshirt on right now. I'm gonna get a full screen on this. I have to do it. I know we're still waiting for Trump to go live, but look at this dog. Look at the dog. Okay. She's got her Christmas sweatshirt on. Absolutely adorable. Now, when do we bring our ugly sweatshirts on stage? Is it too early?
Maybe next week or the week after.
All right, fine. Fine.
Oh, look at this girl.
Fine.
Oh, baby.
Now we have Ethereum's Fusaka hard fork confirmed for December 3rd. So it's going to be EIP 7951. Phone's built-in security chip like Apple's Secure Enclave can now sign Ethereum transactions natively and affordably. Now your phone can sign Ethereum transactions directly. The gas drops from 500K just to 6,900. Jesus, that's a huge reduction. No more seed phrases for AA wallets, just Face ID or fingerprint authentication. This is very, very interesting. This is actually some of the stuff we needed to see happen so that people that are being onboarded into crypto don't run into the same weirdness that we are used to, like signing the 6 different transactions to log on. Like that's not how you get, the massive amount of people.
Is it Cash App or Square, whatever Jack Dorsey's doing?
I think Square is what he's doing.
His recent move where you can send whatever currency and have it terminate on your end on whatever currency you want. So you can send cash and have it end up as Bitcoin, or send Bitcoin and have it end up as cash. It automatically does it. I think we are on the right track to get those things done, but it just reminds us how early we are in this ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you guys say that with this lackluster altcoin season that most people were dreaming about, do you think that's built more Bitcoin maxis or driven people just right out and to never come back?
I would say, here, pull up my screen real quick.
Yeah.
I would say this is what the market is experiencing right now. Okay. You're trading. Oh, I got $500 profit. And then the market makers, they basically, check it out. This is what the market makers do. Out of this world. But in terms of altcoins, look at the alt dominance versus Bitcoin. There's others versus Bitcoin. And this is just before this line right here is where quantitative tightening is supposed to be ending, much like, also the end of this descending, basically falling wedge. And what we got a massive move here on those altcoins. And yet again, we also have the MACD crossing over. I had another chart for you somewhere. I don't know where it is. Just note to everybody, I did change my PFP. So if you see my thing with a different image, I changed it. Just make sure if you're following me, that image has changed. Otherwise, you're following the wrong person. But I don't know where it is. I had another altcoin one I wanted to show you. I don't know where it's at. I don't know.
Well, I think that one chart that you
here.
showed us, that MACD flipping the way it is on that, what was that last chart? The blue and red one, because that MACD was looking like a complete suppressed, ready to pump moment.
That
for
was
me.
the others dominance versus Bitcoin dominance.
Gotcha.
Going also into before quantitative easing.
Mhm.
And that looks like it's ready to go. And this is another way to look at others versus Bitcoin. I mean, it's just been compressing for 5 years into this zone. I mean, right back down into the bottom, just much like we saw here. Yes, this was a massive run, the sell off, it was all over, and then an exponential run. Are we going to see something like that again? I don't know, but we're kind of in that position now where alts are either going to absolutely wreck everybody that's holding them far beyond what you could even comprehend from here, or that move that everybody now is counting out is actually likely going to happen. I got to jump into this DGen trade real quick. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're hopping into the trade?
I've been hopping in and out, man.
Oh my God.
That's why when you see me looking over here, I'm max DGenning.
You've been having a lot of fun. You've been having a lot of fun. And someone's asking, like, are altcoins dead? I think some of the ones that are having the least amount of bounce right now are the ones that concern me. Really, like, this isn't too bad. Leo is always an outlier. Most of the altcoins are actually doing pretty dang decent. One of the main ones that's bothering me is Avalanche. I know I was kind of celebrating because Chainlink's almost as expensive as Avalanche, but I've been in Avalanche for a long time, and it was one of the better things to get in and out of. I can't say that it's completely dead, but it is beat down and it's not experiencing any of the upside today, at least. You know what I mean? Because even like old projects, let's go look at a random one like VeChain. Like VeChain's up 10%. At least it's getting some love. You want to see your chain waking up a little bit. Let's go look at Caspa for the culture. I'm always looking at Caspa for this artisan. His name throws me off here. Still at 5, but it's up 13%. Look, like you want to see some sort of life coming into this. And if you don't, even with the bullishness that's going on today, might want to analyze that a little bit closer. A lot of SWE action. SWE at $1.60 might be a move here. It's up 22%, but it is waking up aggressively. And this is one of the newer altcoins with good limelight on it. It's had a lot of pain as of recently. But
if I may interrupt here for 1 second, I've been watching the peepers meter here. I see 975 and I'm 993. It's if like a dozen people shared this out, it'll crack the 1K. I think that'll be pretty cool before Trump. It's just a simple share, and we'll crack 1K.
We've got 6,378 total watching across all the things. But yeah, guys, everybody hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, show some love. And even when you guys comment anything in the thing, it lets the YouTube overlords and X and everybody know that that you like what we're doing, and they send us out to more people.
Let's see what SWE is down. I mean, because it fell by 70% from even that lower high. Like SWE is down big time right now. And if this market doesn't go into a year bear market and these alts truly do get some love and we see a true and tried good old fashioned alt season.
There we go.
Man. Oh, did we hit it?
Yeah. Over a K on the Discover Crypto. Nice.
Look at us go. And we are watching here. Let's go back and make sure Trump's not live yet. Let's see here. Not live yet. So we're still waiting on him there. Also, I got to talk about this. So this is a conversation, and I got to ask the chat about this. So my wife says that she's not crazy. Sleeping with the lights on prevents your body from fully relaxing, forcing cardiovascular system to stay more active than normal during the night. The hidden overdrive quietly elevates your resting heart rate while you sleep, having the light on. Light at night also disrupts glucose processing, causing measurable insulin resistance by morning. Over time, these disturbances rise the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, according to this Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine study, showing that moderate room light during sleep is enough to trigger these cardiovascular and metabolic changes. So I guess I got to ask you, do you guys sleep with the light on?
Hell no.
You don't?
Oh, hell no, man. I like it dark and I want it cold and I want the fan on. I even used to sleep with the window open at my head when I lived in New York in the middle of winter with the fan on my foot. Yeah, I want to be chilly, bundled up, baby.
Well, the conversation come out because I went nuts with the Christmas lights. You know what I mean?
You gotta turn them off.
I don't want to though because
Just put them on a switch. I'll get it for you because I have the same thing in my place. You get an outlet that also has a blue, basically remote on and off thing. Then you don't have to go and unplug and turn things on and off. You can just press it on and off from your bedside.
Okay. Piano Matty B, what do you do? Because I've been screwing up. Apparently, I've been screwing up.
You have been screwing up.
Yeah. Matty B, lights on or off? Do you have any light in your room when you're sleeping?
It's tough because sometimes I'll fall asleep watching some YouTube, just click her on just to know I'm going to bed, and then that'll stay on. But to wash everything away, I basically just only eat steaks. So all the heart disease, all the diabetes, all these secondary, third, ailments that you get eating garbage, I really don't even factor them in. If you don't eat garbage, a lot of these things don't happen.
That's fair. That's fair. Now we're gonna go to the White House. Looks like we have the White House starting up. To add this to stage, give me when this does come up. Let me know that the sound is coming over well for you guys. We have a new kind of layout for this. I'm terrified of what Trump's about to say here. Let's see. And I want to pull up a little bit different setup for this. I'm going to go widescreen, and we're going to get the charts up. We got to have the charts. Let's see here. So we're going to have Bitcoin. All right. So and you know what? I just had to go on a tangent. Apparently, the entire chat sleeps in pitch black dark. I'm the fire here.
We're not psychopaths.
Okay. And apparently, like, I can drink a coffee and leave the lights on and be dead asleep for a long time. So,
how many lights do you have on in the old bedroom there, Drew?
Oh, it's because you go to sleep with your sunglasses on, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I got Christmas lights. I'll leave like a TV show running or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm honestly terrible.
I turn my TV off. I watch TV at night, but I turn it off probably an hour or so before bed. I put on an audiobook and my earbud, and I just fall asleep with the audiobook on.
Do you? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
now,
I'm going to change
wired
my ways.
or wireless?
Wireless.
Because now we're going to get into a whole other.
Hey, you know what? It's comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's the next layer. Like, do we stay? Because that's on my mind too about the Bluetooth.
I do wired.
On my mind.
Only wired earphones.
All right, so we're dumping a little bit more on Ethereum leading into this.
You're
Trump
dumping
speech.
a lot more on Ethereum when you're in a 40x long.
That's true. Are you currently in a 40x long?
I plead I'm a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
All right. Let's see here. All right. So Bitcoin's holding up a little bit better. It's at 92,000 still. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, it's definitely losing more steam. Losing more steam right now. Waiting for Trump to come live. And then, while I'm waiting for this, I'm going to keep this screen up. There's a couple things that I wanted to look at before this starts playing. Kelly, the chat has been asking a lot about XRP and about Cardano. Can you just look from your perspective, give me a kind of an objective point of view of what you see on the charts for Cardano and XRP for me?
Yeah, here we go. Here's Cardano, the Cardano downtrend, of course. We kind of deviated above it. We're not back below it. We've got rejection, a W pattern here. Money flow is not really an agreement, or it's nothing. There's no story there other than the fact that it is trying to round back out. RSI is kind of breaking a trend right now. This is the one thing that I do see that's pretty bullish here. We have this downtrend on RSI, and it is breaking out of that, but it's still well in the basically bearish weakness territory.
Could you expand that up? That breakout that it's trying to attempt right there. That actually looks like something. That's where the hopium is for this Cardano chart as well. Yeah, that. Okay. Okay.
So general downtrend, lower, low, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. This is kind of breaking out, but I'd really like to see this get back beyond the 45 range, test the 50, and then really break out of that for confidence. But this is starting to show that shift in trend with the bulls making an attempt. And you see this. Where is this at right now? This is on the daily chart, by the way, right at the neckline. So if we go to the 4 hour, let's look at it.
Here we go. Let's
We
pull
got
it
it?
up.
Let's
Yep.
go. No audio.
Let's make sure we got audio. All right.
Yeah, but it was a good one.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, thank you very much. And we're thrilled to be joined by one of the most successful business leaders and people anywhere in the country, whether it's technology, no matter what business you're talking about, there's really nobody quite like him. He's chairman and CEO of Dell Technologies. Make great everything, great computers, great everything.
Great looking wife.
Very much of a legend who's here with his
Eye-opening.
exciting announcement. So amazing. And much more importantly, he's here with his wonderful wife, Susan. And they have a special relationship. I think I can say that, really. It's very nice. I don't see too much of it. I see the opposite, but I don't see too much. They have two special people. And I've seen that. I've known that for a long time. And I think it's a tremendous thing.
Could be a man too. What was that?
Oh.
Altimer Capital, Brad Gerstner. Where are you, Brad? Brad Gerstner is a terrific fellow who's very much involved in this incredible thing that we're doing today, along with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Treasury Secretary, Scott Besson, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Commerce and Science and Transportation, Ted Cruz,
Kelly,
House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith,
bring this up on your
Vice Chairman
computer,
of the
Kelly.
House Republican Conference, Blake Moore, as well as the Chief Design Officer of the United States Airbnb co-founder.
And then you'll got to click
Joe
that share
Gebbia.
audio. Let's swap over to your
Thank
computer.
you all for being here. It's a great group. And I guess a potential Fed chair is here too. I don't know.
Oh, he's bringing up the potential
I'd like
Fed
to
chair.
say that. Potential. He's a
Got it.
respected person, that
All
I
right.
can tell you. Being Tuesday, one of the biggest days of the year for philanthropy and charitable giving. And this afternoon, Michael and Susan Dell are committing to one of the largest private donations in American history, which will directly benefit the next generation of American children through the new Trump Accounts program that we created in our One Big Beautiful Bill. And Michael and Susan came to see me along with Brad, and they said, this is an idea. And I said, I think, it sounded just so good and so unique. But that's why he's been so successful, and they've been so successful in life and in business, because they're unique. Trump Accounts will be the first, I guess you could say, real trust funds for every American child, allowing family members, employers, corporations, generous donors to contribute money that will be invested and grow over the course of a
Audio's
child's
all the way
life,
up. Turn up your
to be
volume.
used for their benefit after they turn 18. So in other words, these are children that are going to, an investment's going to be made. That investment's going to continue to grow, we hope, right? We hope.
I believe the children are
But
future.
it will. And they'll feel like Michael Dell someday. But at 18, they'll have a lot of money, a lot more money than they would have had, and potentially a lot of money. But these accounts will track the overall stock market and will be 100% private property controlled by the child's guardians. In honor of America's 250th anniversary, the Dells are announcing today that they are giving 25 million American children $250 each to save and to invest in their personal Trump account. Now that's the equivalent of 6.25 billion. In other words, to put it succinctly, Michael and Susan are giving $6.25 billion in total. And as a total contribution, that's big stuff. I don't care who you are. That's big. Come here, give me a hand. Let me have a little.
6,250,000.
That's fantastic.
Jeez.
Susan. These gifts will be available to the first 25 million children aged 10 and under the zip codes where their median income is $150,000 or less.
So they're giving them to children that won't be born particularly rich, and they're going to be hopefully very rich someday. This will give millions of dollars, millions of children, middle class families a stake in American prosperity, a benefit from the rising stock market, and a better shot at the American dream. It really gives them a shot at the American dream. Michael and Susan, I want to thank you for this extraordinary act of kindness and patriotism and charity. This is truly one of the most generous acts in the history of our country. I mean, you don't hear about things like that, and we got to let people know he doesn't want and she doesn't care about that, but I do. I think when somebody does that, you got to let them know about it. As I mentioned, this gift is being made possible by the largest tax cuts in American history, which our Republican majorities passed earlier this year. And the Speaker worked so hard, and John Thune and Jason and all of them, every one of them. Ted Cruz is with us. He worked so hard getting that done. That was the biggest, most consequential bill they say ever passed. And if they remember, Michael, they thought we had to put that in 12 to 14 bills. I said, I don't know if we can hold it that long with the Democrats. And we said, let's try doing it once. So we did. And people were surprised, but we got it done. So I congratulate you guys. Amazing job. Under that bill, the federal government will also automatically be making a one-time seed contribution of $1,000 into the tax-deferred Trump accounts for every newborn U.S. citizen, fulfilling a promise I made in the 2024 campaign. Trump accounts should grow to be worth many thousands of dollars by the time the child is 18, and even more by the time they are 20 or even 30 years old. We think it's going to be something really unique and really special. We hope many others will follow Michael and Susan's example and make their own contributions. I'll be doing it too, to the next generation, including businesses, churches, philanthropists, family members, and parents themselves. I think we're going to have a lot of people, Susan. I think a lot of people are going to be contribute. A lot of people are watching us right now. They might not be $6 billion plus, but there'll be a lot. There aren't too many people that are in the 6 billion range, but there'll be a lot. A lot of friends of mine have already told me they're going to contribute a lot of money, and a lot of them are going to leave a lot of money in their wills. So that's very important. And as you watch us today, I hope you'll be doing that. Contributions to Trump accounts will also be a great benefit for employers to offer their workers, which they'll be able to do tax-free. It's tax-free. We expect hundreds of major companies to announce plans to contribute to these accounts in the coming months. And we've had tremendous interest in that regard. So the Trump accounts will be available starting on July 4th next year. And Michael and Susan, to you again, it's an amazing act of just incredible everything. I mean, the life you've led to be able to do this, even to be able to, even a lot of people have a good heart, but they can't give $6,250,000,000. And Michael, probably knowing you, it's not the last of it either. It's not the last. But on behalf of the United States of America, I want to thank you both. And I want to thank all three. But I want to thank you both because you've been friends of mine. And it's a spectacular couple. This is really an amazing people. These are unique. And I'd like to have you come up and say a couple of words and tell us what you have in mind, because what you have in mind is good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
chat is so unhinged, and I'm here for it. Good work, chat.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to be with you here in the White House. And, when you passed the Invest America Act on July 4th of this year, we were really inspired to see that happen. And this is something that, Brad had first mentioned to us in 2021. We thought it was a great idea then. And it's amazing that it happened. And we also saw that this act would become a platform. And, we believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children. And this act has created a platform for families and friends and communities and companies and philanthropists to contribute to these accounts to create a savings and opportunity and hope and prosperity for tens of millions of children in this country. And Susan and I are super excited to announce our $6.25 billion gift to 25 million American children,
Is that a
10 and
Adam's
under.
apple?
And our gift will cover most of the children that are 10 and under that are not part of the federal program, the 0 to 2-year-olds, and who also live in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less. And I have spoken with a number of other wealthy Americans, philanthropists, and we are confident that others will join us because we all understand the incredible impact that a gift like this can have on the lives of young Americans. So again, it's a great honor for us to be here to be able to announce this. You know, when I was 8 years old, I got a passbook savings account and I had, I think about $8 in it. And you go to the savings and loan and you give them a quarter and they'd stamp your account. And I got to see the power of compound interest early in my life. And that has brought me here to this moment.
That's true.
And hopefully will inspire that kind of opportunity for many more young people in this country. So
Boring
again,
but true.
thank you for the privilege of being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. So beautiful. Thank you very much. Susan, would you like to say something?
Uh-oh.
I just like to say how excited we are to be a part of this. We believe that when children have a future that they can see is worth saving for, then that will help build hope and opportunity and prosperity for generations to come. So we're so excited to be doing this and hope to have many people join in our efforts. Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on. She's putting herself out there. Incredibly.
Well, first, it's an incredible honor to
Hey,
be
little
here.
guy.
And we wouldn't be here without the passage of the Invest America Act. And everybody on up here today played a role in getting that done. The Speaker, Ted Cruz, in drafting the legislation so that when the president placed the call to the Speaker and said, let's make this happen in the big, beautiful bill, Congress was ready to act. They had the legislation drafted. But I couldn't be more grateful for the friendship and the partnership of the Dells that really show the best of America. Today is Giving Tuesday, right? And the fact of the matter is, for decades, we've talked about the wealth gap. We've talked about too many people left out and left behind. This president was elected on a Main Street agenda to get the rest of America into the game. And that's exactly what this does. It gets every American child, 3.7 million
savage.
children born every year, will now start life off with an investment account, seeded with $1,000. And then you're going to have great philanthropists, great Americans like Michael and Susan, who are going to add money to those accounts. We're overwhelmed with the number of companies that want to contribute to these accounts. Already
Short
companies
king.
from Uber to NVIDIA, T-Mobile to Charter Communications, Dell, et cetera. The list goes on. And every day more companies are calling us, raising their hands and saying, we want to be part of this. It's like a 401k from birth. It's a benefit for the kids of our employees, right? Major philanthropists. But I think what this is going to unlock is the power of families. Moms and dads Venmoing and Apple Paying and $5, $10, right? In getting these kids into the game. When we had the roundtable at the White House earlier this year, Dara Khosrowshahi, the CEO of Uber, said, you know, after fleeing Iran at the age of 9 with nothing, he came to America because it was the land of hope. And he said what the Invest America Act does is it bottles up hope for every child in America. Whether you're in rural Mississippi or rural Indiana, where I came from, inner city Trenton or Compton, you're now in the game, right? That act alone, I think, reinvigorates the American dream. It reinvigorates the idea of free market capitalism. Too many people are losing faith in you, sir. By passing the Invest America Act and getting all these kids into the game, this is a transformational act in this country forevermore. Every child starts off life in the game with a piece of the American dream compounding in the upside of America. So thank you for having us here.
And I thought it was going to be like a grand, but at least it's the start. It's something. This chat is so unhinged. Don't you go change in chat. Don't you go
Okay,
change.
Vincent, give us some juice to the
And
markets.
I think this is a major change.
They need to
in
lift the mic back up to his
philanthropy
height.
And for American working families. It is the merging of President Trump's agenda of parallel prosperity, Main Street meets Wall Street. For the next 5 years, every child born in the US will get a $1,000 Trump account that will be with them and compound for the next 18 years. Treasury Department with other branches of government is going to do financial literacy, and we are going to make sure that all American families have a stake in the success of the United States of America. So every day when the stock market goes up or down, and we believe over the 18 years it will go up and families will learn the power of compounding, that it will be a game changer. People who have a stake in the system and become more and more vested in the system, they do not want to bring down the system. They want to make it better. So I think we will look back on today and know that these Trump accounts, they have started a new age of the capitalism and market interest for the whole country. I also think that it is a game changer, as we're seeing with Michael and Susan Bell today, that Americans are the most generous people in the history of the world, and the Trump accounts will provide a vehicle for philanthropists such as Michael and Susan and many more to contribute. And at Treasury, we are working, so Michael and Susan want to do it for children born in the past 10 years, a certain income level. As Brad said, it can be tailored, it can be to employees. It could be a philanthropist could adopt a state, they can adopt a school, they can adopt a zip code, they can adopt a street. And so we will constantly see these accounts be topped up. For those of you on the Treasury, will be running this on the operational side. For those of you who would like to, you can go to trumpaccounts.gov today and see the homepage that has a basic outline. These will become operational on July 5th of this year. And we will have families start signing up for them. So, and that homepage will answer all the questions on eligibility and investments. And then finally, today we're here on Giving Tuesday. Michael and Susan have led the way, but I think that there's a chance that every Tuesday can become Giving Tuesday as more and more philanthropists see the power of this, of giving to American families, giving to American children, and giving everyone a stake in our great economy. So thank you very much.
I'm surprised they're not getting Trump token. Or Pengu would have been a good pick.
I'll be brief. There's a lot of symbolism here today. Right here on the eve of the 250th anniversary of the greatest nation in the history of the world. We are the greatest nation by any objective measure. We're the most free, most powerful, most successful, and most benevolent nation that's ever been. And I think what you're seeing here is another exhibit of that. This idea, this vision came about because Brad and a couple of smart guys came up with this idea, and then took a few years to sell the idea to everybody. And then these visionary legislators over here, Senator Ted Cruz and Blake Moore in the House and Jason Smith, the Ways and Means Chair, really caught the vision. And we put it into the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut. We've been saying all along that was drafted to really help lower and middle class earners in America. And this is one of the great features. One of the perils of having the big, beautiful bill and having it all in there together, the president and I have talked about many times, is that there's so many great things in that legislation. We don't have enough time to talk about all of it. So we need a moment to really focus on this. Giving Tuesday is a perfect time to do it. And it's absolutely perfect, I think, that July 5th becomes the operational date right after the nation's birthday. So what we're going to see here is a model that I don't think anyone has done anywhere in the world. They wouldn't have the capability to do it. They wouldn't have philanthropists and great Americans with big hearts like this who've earned their way and really fulfill the American dream. And they have a vision and a desire for more and more people to do that. And so now more and more Americans will. It kind of evens the playing field in a way, right?
That's a little
and
too
everybody has an
smooth.
opportunity. So we're just excited to be a part of it, grateful to the vision, grateful to a president who leads from the front, who understands the potential of something like this. And this will be one of the many marquee achievements of the Trump administration. This will be one that people remember for a long, long time. And I think it can change the country. So thanks, Mr. President. Thanks, Brad, all of you for being a part. Thank you to the Dells. Really amazing.
I don't
Thank
trust
you.
a man that moisturizes. I do not. Oh God, here we go.
Well, I want to congratulate all the men and women up here. And Mr. President, I think objectively on the merits, the case can be made that there has never been a president who's had a greater positive impact on the children of America than you have. And in particular, in this one big, beautiful bill, I think the two most long-lasting and far-reaching provisions are, number one, the school choice provision that you signed into law that is going to unleash tens of billions of dollars to scholarships to low-income kids all over the country and is going to change the lives of millions of kids. And the second provision is this provision right here, the Trump accounts. These Trump accounts, starting on July 4th, every child in America will have a personal investment account opened for them. Newborn children will have it seeded with $1,000. Parents and family and employers can contribute up to $5,000 a year in a tax-advantaged account. That money will be invested in the S&P 500 in the stock market, broad-based equity index account. Two massive benefits that change this country. Number one, every child in America will experience the benefits of compound growth. Take a little girl born next year. She's born next year. She has the account opened for her. $1,000 is automatically seeded. Her parents or family or an employer puts $5,000 a year each year into that account. If you assume the historic rate of growth of the S&P 500, which is 7% a year, by the time that little girl is 18, she will have $170,000 in that account. And if she keeps saving, by the time that little girl is 35, she will have $700,000 in that account. That is game changing. And we're not talking the children of Michael and Susan Dell, the children of Donald Trump, the children of people of great success. We're talking the kids of a single mom waiting tables who could have $700,000 saved by the time she's 35 to get an education, to start a business, to buy a house. That changes their whole lives. But the second benefit, and what I'm really excited about,
Does he have a mullet?
is we are creating a new generation of capitalists. Every child in America is going to be an owner of the biggest employers in this country. We've all seen the sad statistics of how many kids are losing faith in capitalism. Well, 10 years from now, a little boy is going to pull out his phone and he's going to look at his app and he's going to see his Trump account. And instead of thinking of big, bad, scary corporations, that little boy is going to say, I own $50 of Apple. I own $100 of Dell. I own $75 of McDonald's. And every child is an owner of the biggest employers in this country. That will transform this country. Mr. President, thank you for signing it. Let me say, Brad, this would not be a law if Brad Gerstner did not pursue it with absolute dogged determination, relentless. I've gotten calls and texts from Brad at 6 a.m. and at 2 a.m. You may sleep less than the president, Brad, and that is a remarkable thing because I don't think he sleeps at all. And finally, I'll just say to Michael and Susan, incredible Texans, $6.25 billion is extraordinarily generous. Let me say, on behalf of 25 million kids who just got a gift from Michael and Susan, and it's not a gift of a video game, it's not a gift of a bicycle, it's an investment in their future. That changes their lives, and I hope and believe Michael and Susan are going to inspire millions across the country to do the same thing. When Congress passed Section 401k of the ERISA,
yep. Ted's
I
dumping
don't
the
know that
market.
anyone realized how much it would change retirement plans. There's now trillions of dollars in 401k plans. They're going to be trillions of dollars in these. These are 401ks for kids. And Mr. President, these Trump accounts exist because you signed them. Thank you for your leadership. It's an honor to work with you.
Get these guys off the TV.
That is smart.
Thank you. First, I would just want to thank Michael and Susan for the kind gift. What you all have done will be transformational for 25 million kids. And a lot of people we can thank for the provisions in this big, beautiful bill, but there is no one to thank greater than President Donald Trump. And I'll tell you this, out of every executive I've ever worked with, there's no one that's been more engaging, no one that has been more involved. And the only reason why these investment accounts are in the big, beautiful bill is because he helped convince other members of Congress that this is a good idea. This has been something that has been discussed for a long time, but no one could ever get it passed. But who helped get it passed was Donald Trump. I can tell you that from day one throughout the process. And so that's going to affect millions of kids in their futures.
Thank you. I was not planning or prepared to speak today, but the gravity of the situation is not lost on me. I have 4 boys of my own, 13 and under, and on the heels of a $6 billion announcement, I hope that that doesn't, go without some major headlines, that I will be making an announcement of my own, that I will be contributing $60 to each one of my children's accounts today. Actually, to try to bring some levity to that, every parent, every grandpa and grandma can now look and say, I can get my grandkid this little toy or something, and maybe that's going to continue to happen. But there is a new option and another way for them to be able to invest and have a lasting legacy. And as a dad of 4 kids, seeing kids in our neighborhood,
He's tall.
them to have that opportunity is something that not every day in Congress, as I've joked with my colleagues, is the most productive day in my career. But to be able to be a part of something like this is, it makes everything worthwhile. I'm away from my kids a ton in this job, and being able to be a part of something like this, a small part that I played, is something that is transformational. And I'll be able to look back on this and be so grateful for this opportunity that I've had to be able to serve in Congress. Thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Would anybody have a question? Michael, Susan?
There goes
Brad?
Susie. Pops, you're not getting the $250.
One for you too. If you could, did either of you say you're donating?
What's this guy saying?
Yeah, the media guy that controls their audio is terrible.
He has one job too, eh?
Well,
Yeah.
I think they can learn
One
a
job.
little bit about the free enterprise system, they can really learn a lot about how life works, how business works. They want to go out and make a living for themselves. 'Cause
I
maybe
think
it's gonna be a lot
socialists should
more
be
than we
excited
think.
about
It's
this.
not going to be quite as much as we think.
Right.
Depending on what happens
Have
in the
government
world,
interest
the
into
market.
corporations.
Try and do very well in that regard too. But there's a
Roll
lot
It's
of
out
almost like a
learning to be
grandkid
done.
bail-in too.
And I
Just
think
put all
this
your
is
money
a
into your
big step
grandkid's
forward.
account.
And your reaction,
We'll
did either of you
rehypothecate
say
it.
you're donating how much?
Yeah, we already said it, it's $6.25 million.
No, I mean, with the reaction between the two of you, someone came up with the idea.
Oh, sure. Oh, well, so we kind of started with a smaller amount, to be honest. And we started talking about Texas only at the beginning. And,
Adopting the state of Texas.
right. And then we thought about it some more, and we thought
Got
about,
pretty excited about the idea.
yep, and we went back and forth, and as we do on these things, and we
Got more
ended
and
up.
more excited, and
we-
next thing you
This
know.
is where we ended up. So, but
The number
a
kept
lot
climbing.
of discussion and consideration over a long period of time.
Yeah.
To
Get
We-
on the
we believe
mic.
We
this
feel
is
great about it.
The greatest investment that we could possibly make is in children, and we've been investing in children for over 26 years with our foundation.
Yeah,
And-
and there are 30 states already that require at least one semester of financial literacy, and hopefully all 50 states will
Yeah.
do that. And, as children begin to understand that they have these accounts, that creates a real need for our schools, our parents, our community organizations to really begin to grow financial literacy in the country, which can only be a good thing.
It's really an amazing moment that two people would do that kind of a contribution. I mean, it's just an amazing moment. And it shows you there's a tremendous heart in great entrepreneurs. He's a great entrepreneur. They're both great entrepreneurs, because he probably wouldn't have done it without you, to be honest. That's the way it often works. And I know this relationship so well. There could be a lot of truth to that. But it shows you that there's a big heart in some pretty tough people. He's a tough cookie, but he's got a very, very warm spot. And what you've done, I don't think it's going to be talked about for a long time. It won't be forgotten. Thank you, sir.
That's a good question. Thank you, sir. My question is about the logistics or the administration of the program. You obviously want to help poorer children. How will you help families perhaps who don't have access to computers or internet at home to make this program a reality? Sure. And please speak in the microphone if you don't mind.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Well,
Jesus.
First, Treasury,
Oh, look
as
at
the
that already.
secretary talked about, is going to be administering the program. And we should just say that Luke Pettit, the Assistant Treasury Secretary, has just done an extraordinary job with the secretary in what I think will be the biggest consumer launch in the history of government. 60 million accounts are going to get created next year. And these accounts are going to be, promulgated. All parents are going to have to do is to claim the account. So if they have access to an Android phone or
With
a
a
public
digital ID.
library to go to a computer
Yeah.
and gain access, they can claim that account. And whether they claim it or not, the account is going to continue to compound. So they don't have a deadline by which they have to claim the account. There's time, right? And there's going to be a lot of resources. Think about this. Kids in school, we're going to have schools engaged, helping to tell them that they need to claim their accounts, to educate them, et cetera. We're going to run a big public campaign around this. So we're just getting started. Today is day one. This is an extraordinary contribution, but it's the beginning of a drumbeat you're going to hear for the next 6 months leading up to the 250th anniversary of the country. I don't think there's anybody in the country who won't have heard about this by the time we get to July 4th of next year. And we're going to make sure, listen, we know that wealthy families have access to 529 accounts, right? This is an opportunity, and the instruction was, how do we get the 50 million other families into the game? This is the first time we've done that because we're auto-creating these accounts for every child at birth, and so we're going to be very focused on making sure that every family entitled to get one of these accounts is able to claim it and get it.
Thank you for talking to the mic, Short
Yes,
King.
sir. These
I appreciate you.
programs seem to create an opportunity for parents to create unprecedented financial security for their children, sir. Do you believe that these accounts will be a big part of your legacy when everything goes down? We've heard talks about you being a legacy as a peacemaker, but this is a really big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do think so. And I think it's a big part of everybody up here today. This was a group that was very instrumental. And in particular, obviously, Michael and Susan, it's a big part of their legacy. They've got a big legacy anyway, but this is maybe going to be as important or more important than anything they've done thus far. It's
Maybe the biggest.
looking back in 100 years from now, I think you're going to see some things that they'll be talking about this very day. So thank you for that question. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. These accounts were originally discussed as a way to incentivize people to have more children. Are there any other policy proposals you're looking at like this to encourage the birth rate to increase?
Well, we are looking at programs. We're looking at, there's a certain Australian plan that people are liking and they're talking about. You know what I mean? There's a plan where, not for children necessarily, but it's for people, working people. And we are looking at other things different from this. I think this is very unique, but different from this, but very important. Yeah.
Retirement savings program?
Tell me you're a
You mean
damn
the
thing,
Australian retirement
That's
savings
what they're
program?
talking about. Yep. We're looking at it very seriously. It's a good plan. It's worked out very well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you talk about what tax benefits these accounts come with? The information
Look at
sheet
her.
we just received said that when a child turns 18, they'll be treated like traditional IRAs and subject to a 10% withdrawal tax.
Please,
Can you speak when are children be able to access?
Oh, Lord.
They can access them when
Their
they're
facial
18, or they can
expressions.
Convert them to an IRA at that time. During the 18 years, parents or employers can donate with a tax deduction up to $5,000 into each account. And then philanthropists, like Michael and Susan, can add an unlimited amount to the accounts. So $5,000 from employees or families, and then gifts from foundations and philanthropists can be an unlimited amount.
Mr. President, you said that you have been talking to your wealthy friends, as well as you, Mr. Dell, about contributing. Can you walk us through maybe who you've been talking to and how much more we can expect on top of
I think the people you probably would think I would be talking to, there's a group of people out there that have been very successful, and we've already started talking to them. You know, we're doing ballrooms, we're doing arcs, we have a thing that's being planned that's going to be a great tribute to the country, as you know. You probably heard about it. The arc that we're looking at by the bridge near Arlington. There's going to be something. We're doing some other things for Washington itself and for the country itself. But a lot of the people that have, gone in and done a real job with that. The ballroom, I think Michael and Susan, the next time we meet, well, I think hopefully we'll meet before then, but we're going to have a big event over at the ballroom to celebrate this. We're building a ballroom that they've wanted at this beautiful White House for 150 years. They've wanted it so badly. Right now we can hold 109 people if you're lucky in a room. It's a beautiful room, but it's 109 people, and we're building something. You see the trucks in the back. You see the clanging, the banging, and when it's completed, it'll be one of the greatest ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's going to be amazing. So people that were involved in that process, I have a lot of friends with a lot of success, and every one of them, I would be shocked if anyone turns us down. We're going to have a lot of big contributors, Jeff.
On a separate topic, if I may, sir, you had a call with Brazil's President Lula today. Can you tell
I
us
did.
what you discussed?
Yeah, we had a great talk. We talked about trade. We talked about sanctions, because as you know, I sanctioned them having to do with certain things that took place. But we had a very good talk. I like him. Very good. We had some good meetings, as you know, but we had a very good talk today. Yes, I did.
You also pardoned the former president of Honduras, and he was released from prison
I
yesterday.
did. Well, he was the president, and they had some drugs being sold in their country, and because he was the president, they went after him. That was a Biden horrible witch hunt, which was, a lot of people in Honduras asked me to do that, and I did it. I feel very good about it. If you have some drug dealers in your country and you're the president, you don't necessarily put the president in jail for 45 years. That was a Biden-inspired witch hunt.
Did his letter impact your decision on
Yeah,
that, sir,
please,
from
go ahead.
Mr. Stone?
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Your decisions, recent decisions to Syria, renewed many hopes for the Syrian people. And now the minorities in Syria, like Kurds, Christians, and Jews, they want help. U.S. help them to have some sort of autonomy and their rights being protected in the Syria. How do you
We're going to
view-
give them help, and I think Syria has come a long way. The new leader of Syria was here, as you know, 3 weeks ago, and he was really into making that country, bringing the country around. Not an easy job. Not an easy job. It's centuries of problems, but I think he's going to do a good job. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in him. Yeah, please.
Mr. President.
We all float down
In the broader
here.
context of the economy with these childhood investments, we just saw the biggest Black Friday in history, up 4.1% from last year, $26 billion. Haven't told me about that. We also saw that they're going to spend $1 trillion on Christmas this year, $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Increasing 4.1%. 25 states, gas is below $3, a handful below $2.50 and getting better. Energy policy matters. The
I
economy
like
matters.
this guy.
And timing matters.
Who are you with?
Real America's Voice.
That's what I heard.
Face.
That's what
But
I
timing
like you very
matters.
much. Keep talking.
So if you invest with these children now, the better the economy is better for the children, right? We're in a pretty good spot right now.
Sure. Well, I do, and I appreciate it. No, we have an amazing thing. We have over almost $20 trillion of investment coming in. I don't even know if you know that. 20 trillion, that's a lot by any standard, right? But
I only have $1 trillion of the
Biden,
kids
as an
anyways.
example, I say this, his administration over a 4-year period had much less than $1 trillion. And we're up to 18, I guess right now, Scott, about 18 trillion in 10 months. And there's never been a country, China, no country has ever done anything even close to that. Even if you figure 20% of that, no country's done 20%. And it's because of tariffs and and I think because of November 5th, the election day. But we have now under construction, I guarantee you're expanding a lot of your different places, right, for Dell. But we have places like that. We have car companies. We have AI coming in at levels. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's amazing. And all of these places, hundreds and hundreds of plants, thousands, they're going to be opening, and they're going to be producing a lot of success, a lot of jobs. And I say it all the time. The king of Saudi Arabia said to me a year ago, he said, 1 year ago, your country was dead. And now you've got the hottest country anywhere in the world, and that's what we have. And it's one of the reasons Michael's able to do this. It's one of the reasons I'm able to be here and, having really run a very successful campaign. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by millions. We won the districts. I'll tell you, the district vote is the most impressive. 2,750 compared to 550. That's some difference. And we just had a tremendous election and a tremendous vote of confidence. And thank you very much for that question. Thank you.
Oh, they're coming out of like vultures. Jeez Louise. Okay. I think I've got inspiration for tomorrow's thumbnail. I think I have inspiration for tomorrow's thumbnail for sure. So, Kelly needs a cigarette. Hopefully not. That speech, it's $6 billion. It's not too much, but you know what? They're just going to print to infinity anyways. It just really makes you wonder where the value of the dollar is going to be 30 years from now.
Now they're off the list, though. It only cost them $6 billion.
True that. Oh, let's unmute you, Kelly. Let's unmute your mic there, brother. Click her out there.
I was gonna say now, I don't know how I was muted, but now the everyday person is gonna have $700,000. So what do you think that's gonna mean to everybody that isn't an everyday person that's on the upper echelon? It's talk about max money printing.
Absolutely, and that's what it is. Piano, Kelly, thank you for joining me on this chaotic occasion. I think the internet is going to take that meme and run with it like wildfire. Yeah. But you know what? This is why we understand inflation is going to get worse. We understand they're printing their way out of this. I'm looking forward to next year. And today is a glimpse of what the Bulls have in store for 2026. Love and appreciate you guys. Piano, thanks for always dumping a bucket of cold water on me. Usually today you came out bullish. Now you're in line with the quant in our Discord. I don't even know where. I mean, this is looking too damn good. I love you guys. Stay focused out there. Everything's going to be fine. And until next time, we bid you adieu.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.